I think it's fair to say that Fantastic Four First Steps is a highly anticipated movie within the MCU. They had a string of bad films, and even Thunderbolts was just a mediocre film, at least for me, and a lot rides on the Fantastic Four the First Steps. Firstly, there's never been a good Fantastic Four movie, and to make things more difficult, it's the first movie in the Marvel Phase 6. Personally, I don't think I've cared much about Marvel since the end of Endgame. So the future of MCU rides on the Fantastic Four First Steps. Now let's find out how good is this film. Now in the past there has been a lot of criticism about color grading and about production design in the MCU films, and the criticisms are very true. Yes, the MCU movies are really supposed to be grounded superhero movies, but that does not mean that they have to look dull. That does not mean that they have to look like they have been shot entirely on the green screen. And I think the Fantastic Four is the first film in which you can see that color is popping and the production design is really good. The lush colors, the bluish tint, and even the mini TV film within the film about Fantastic Four really makes the production design, really makes the color grading of the whole film very interesting. Even though I've never really lived in New York, I could see that there are many similarities between the New York of this film and New York in the 60s. The editing of this film strips the film of not just the extra scenes but also some of the emotional scenes. Now there are some greatly staged scenes, like the scene where the Fantastic Four meet Galactus for the first time. The heroes are always framed on the bottom side of the screen, revealing the actual size of Galactus, and I think it was a great decision to hide the reveal of Galactus or to hide the reveal of actual size of Galactus in the trailer. We all know by now, looking at the trailer, that Galactus along with Shalabal is threatening to destroy Earth 828. Now this is the kind of threat that we see regularly in the superhero movies. What interesting about this movie is that the whole threat and the whole last fight or the main climax fight is very less action packed, and most of the movie focuses on family, exploration of space, and it would have seemed very boring in the film, but the film really manages to strike the balance between everything. Like the recent superhero movie Superman, it does not spend much time showing the origin story. It kind of explains the origin story in the beginning, but then it does not explain much about the villains or where do they come from and everything. It wants you to focus on the film, and it wants you to focus on the family dynamic. The film for the most time focuses on the family dynamics between Reed and Sue and the Thing and all of the Fantastic Four and how they react to the news of the upcoming baby. It's not a hero punches the villain and his sidekick kind of a movie. We also see how the world reacts to the Fantastic Four. There's a cartoon about them. The children ask the Thing to show his power for them, and when there's a world-ending threat, then the common people actually rally against the Fantastic Four. And like in the movie Contact, we see how the news of the world ending, or we see how the news of a very powerful being can make a change in the society. Now the movie is also inspired by Interstellar, at least in one scene where we see a black hole design very similar to the Interstellar. Despite having great things, I didn't really care for the main villain. Yes, he looks big, he looks threatening, but that does not really differentiate him enough from the other world-ending villains, from the other MCU villains. And there are time jumps within the film which kind of reduce the impact of the intensity of the threat that they are facing, and the fight themselves are not really very memorable. But what makes this film great are the actors. Pedro Pascal plays this character with all head. Just look at the scene where he finds out that Sue is pregnant. He can't process this news, reassures him, then he smiles. Pedro Pascal's chemistry with Vanessa Kirby makes us believe that we're seeing this couple who has been together for many years, and Sue is the glue that holds this family together. They manage to differentiate the personalities and power of the characters. And by the end, the film introduces us to many characters and makes the world really believable, and it made me excited about the prospect of seeing them again in a new film. I'm going with 7 out of 10 stars.